The dense mountainous jungles and the constant sun-heat, sun-rain, sun-sweat, sun-dust cycle that was Vietnam had leached the parade ground perfection out of each of us. Humping the steep mountains of the enemy's Cordillera with 100-pound rucksacks on our backs had increased our endurance. We learned to stalk the thick vegetation flanking the enemy's high-speed trails with the stealth of a panther. We learned how to wait for the enemy along those trails and to strike with the speed and deadliness of the cobra. We made an alliance with the jungle. It soon became our friend, providing us with shelter and cover as we sought out our enemies. We conquered our fear of the darkness and learned how to use it to conceal us from the searching eyes of the NVA. We had studied the enemy at his own game. After a while, we had become its master. For years, our 6-man teams had infiltrated silently into the enemy's staging areas to gather intelligence and to find him and kill him where he thought he was secure. Swift but deadly ambushes had left numerous NVA patrols no more than fly-blown heaps of carrion along the jungle trails. Many NVA couriers and VC political officers had died while moving between the lowland villages and the distant mountain sanctuaries. Ammo caches had exploded in the faces of unsuspecting NVA soldiers attempting to resupply themselves. Base camps and supply depots had been destroyed by sudden artillery barrages and well-plotted B-52 arc-light bombing runs. Numerous troop concentrations had been destroyed in sudden assaults by Cobra gunships or airstrikes by fast-flying U.S. fighter bombers. The NVA knew that this death and destruction was not the result of mere chance. Someone was out there watching them. The enemy had come to fear and hate, yet respect, the men with the painted faces. We had adopted their style of war. They had always preferred to pick the time and place to engage their enemies in combat. The men of the long-range patrols had taken that option away from them. They were being taught the same demoralizing lesson that they had forced our soldiers to learn. Death was everywhere in Vietnam. There were no havens. A couple of weeks before I reached the hump, the midpoint in my 12-month tour, the NVA took back their option. It was my 14th mission, a 12-man heavy team recon patrol into the Rung Rung Valley. Sergeant Al Contreras was the overall team leader of the two combined teams. We had inserted at dusk into an elephant grass-choked ravine next to some heavy jungle. John Sowers had broken his ankles on the insertion. Not wanting to compromise the team, he had played down the extent of his injury. We moved into the jungle at dusk and located a wide, well-used high-speed trail snaking along the base of a ridgeline. We followed it east until we heard a warning shot a couple of 100 meters to our front. We set up an L-shaped ambush at a bend in the trail and lay back to await the dawn. During the night, enemy patrols with flashlights came looking for us. They passed within 10 feet of our positions. We held our fire, not wanting to initiate the ambush with so many alerted NVA soldiers in the immediate vicinity. At dawn, we discovered that Sowers' ankles were too swollen for him to function without help. The team leader made the decision to extract him from our original LZ and sent him down to the ravine with an escort of 2 other LRPs. As the medevac ship lifted him out, we heard another shot up the trail from our ambush site. The sound of the helicopter extracting Sowers must have made the NVA think that we had all been pulled out. The second shot was probably an all-clear signal to the NVA soldiers in the area. An hour later, 10 NVA entered our kill zone, and we initiated the ambush, killing 9 of them. Their point man, although wounded, escaped. We checked the bodies and discovered that among the dead were 4 nurses and an NVA major with a dispatch case full of maps and documents. We called for a reaction force to come in and help us secure the area. We waited for an hour before being informed that no reaction force was available. In addition, our helicopters were tied up in a brigade-size combat assault and would be unable to extract us for several hours. Our position was